Good morning, students. In my last few videos, I have discussed about problems of agriculture and reforms measures taken by government to solve the problem of Indian agriculture. There are various measures that was uh, taken by the government. These are basically technical reforms, institutional reforms, and general reforms. In technical reforms, government started a modern technique of farming, and farmers were encouraged to start modern technique of farming so productivity will enhance. Institutional reforms, government in institutional reforms, government started institutional reforms like land reforms, in which government started to the government taken various measures so the problems of agriculture, basically the intermediaries and middleman and money lenders, uh, these are the things where problem we are facing in our country. So through institutional reforms, government try to solve the problem of farmer. Next is general reforms. Few reforms were taken according to the need of the economy, like expansion of irrigation facilities. As I discussed, at the time of independence, only 17% of land was under permanent irrigation, permanent means of irrigation. Now, according to 2018-19, irrigation is covering about 45% of land under cultivation. Government also understand the importance of credit for the farmer, because credit is very necessary for the farming activity. So government established few banks which are exclusively work for the farmer, like regional rural bank, land development bank, NABARD, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Government also started regulated market and cooperative marketing society, the platform where small and marginal farmers can sell their surplus farm and earn money, cash money, and that cash money the farmers can utilize in purchasing consumer goods and produce and they also invest in things like raw material which are required for agriculture activity. Government also fix price, that is MSP, minimum support price. The minimum support price is the price at which government procure food grains from the farmer, and farmers are also, if farmer is not able to sell their grains in open market, then they can sell these crops to the government at MSP price, minimum support price. These are the reforms, major reforms that are started by the government, and to some extent we can say that these reforms has huge impact on Indian agriculture. Though at the time of independence, India has a backbone and a stagnant agriculture, but if by the reform process, government is able to make development in the agriculture sector, and after these reforms, India becomes self-sufficient in food production. All these reforms we combined in the combined sense came as came we know as a green revolution. So what is green revolution and what are the achievement of green revolution, that I also discussed in my last video. Today I will proceed the achievement of green revolution. A few achievement I will discuss. Before that, few achievement that I discussed in my last class. Today I will discuss it again. So, what is meaning of green revolution? Uh, the terms imply a spurt in food production, means rise in food production. It started happening in India in the year 1967-68. In the year 1967-68, itself food grain production increased by nearly 25%. India becomes self-sufficient in the production of food grains. What is the impact of green revolution? That we can discuss in two phases. The first phase is mid 60s to mid 70s. During this phase, the scope of green revolution was restricted largely to wheat and rice. In first phase of green revolution, only two crops, wheat and rice, uh, were taken, and the area were also uh, taken selectively. Only few states the HYV seeds and modern technique were used. These states were Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. In first phase, only three states were taken into consideration, and these states were Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. In second phase, the tenure of second phase is mid 1970s to mid 1980s. During this phase, the impact of green revolution became widespread, covering most areas of the country and larger number of crops. In this second phase, more crops were added, means HYV seeds apart from wheat and rice, the seeds of HYV seeds were taken into consideration of other crops also. Its impact was spurt in crop productivity. Uh, India becomes self-sufficient, and the productivity, if we compare with the 1951-52 data, the productivity of major crops, especially wheat, rice, and maize, has increased around 2 to 3 times. Second one is substantial rise in aggregates because of use of modern technique. The gap of sowing and harvesting has been reduced, and farmers were able to crop more than two crop in a year. That leads to enhance in crop productivity. Next is shift from subsistence farming to commercial farming. Initially, most of the farmers were doing subsistence farming, means they were doing farming just for survival of their family. Now, after introduction of green revolution, the crop productivity increased, and farmers were taken agriculture took agriculture as a commercial farming also. Farmers start to do crops which are required in the economy, and through these crops they were able to earn lots of money. Next is change in farmers outlook. Commercialization of agriculture has caused a change in outlook of the farmers. Farmer is no longer viewed as a source of subsistence. It is considered as a commercial venture as well. Most important contribution of green revolution is self-sufficiency in food grain. Increase in crop productivity caused by increase in aggregates and increase in productivity has led to substantial that India has started maintaining buffer stock of food grains. Now, what is buffer stock? Buffer stock is the stock of food grains where government store food grains, especially wheat and rice, and those food grains government use through the PDS, public distribution system. Government distributed food grains to those people who are below poverty line, and supplies those food grains in those areas where the crop productivity is low, and also at the time of natural calamities. A revolutionary rise in output has helped India achieve growth with self sufficiency. Briefly, we can say that technical, institutional, and general reforms, India has achieved a substantial rise in food productivity through increase in uh, productivity of grain as well as increase in acreage. The rise in the level of production and productivity has been so substantial that it is popularly known as Green Revolution. So these are the achievement of Green Revolution in Indian agriculture. With the help of reforms that government started, there were tremendous impact on Indian agriculture. With the help of Green Revolution, first major achievement was India become self-sufficient and Indian government do not need to import food grain from another country. Though there are uh, there are lots of achievement of Green Revolution, in spite of this, there are certain limitation of Green Revolution also. It was found that there are certain loopholes in the Green Revolution. Gains of Green Revolution is significant but not sufficient. As as per some economists, it is said that India need another revolution. Few things which are left in Green Revolution that I will discuss now. So, students, there are lots of positive impact of Green Revolution, but if we compare with the developed countries, the rise in productivity was highly insignificant. There are certain limitation of Green Revolution, so I will discuss limitation of Green Revolution. Limitation of Green Revolution. If we compare with the developed country, uh, especially to measure crops of the world, that is wheat and rice. In case of wheat, per hectare productivity of India, in India is productivity per hectare that is around 3.4 tons, whereas 6.5 tons of China and 9 tons of UK, United Kingdom. If we compare with the developed country, we have only two. You can compare with two data, especially with China and UK. Productivity of wheat per hectare, that is 3.4 tons in India, and that is the data of 2018-19. According to 2018-19, India has 3.4 tons productivity of wheat per hectare of land, and China 6.5 tons, UK that is 9 tons. So after Green Revolution, we can say that productivity is not rise if we compare with the developed country. Likewise, if we compare with rice, that is also major crop of world, per hectare productivity of in India, it is 2.4 ton, and 6.8 ton of China. So you can see here that the productivity of wheat is almost 2 times higher of China, and likewise rice also it is more than 2 times. So we can say that yes, it has great impact of Green Revolution, but if we compare with the developed country and every country, especially with China, you can see the difference in productivity. So there are certain limitation of Green Revolution that I will discuss it. The first limitation and drawback of Green Revolution is limited crops. It is seen it limited crops. Revolutionary rise in output due to green revolution is confined mainly to the production of food grain, that is only wheat and rice. It is find that only two crops impact of green revolution has been evident only on two crops. There has been no similar rise in the production of pulses and commercial crops like jute, cotton, tea, etc. So only limited its impact have only on limited crops, that are wheat and rice. Second drawback is uneven spread. Uneven spread. The spread of green revolution has not been uniform across all regions of the country. In states like Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, it made a remarkable impact. But in eastern UP, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh and Odisha, its impact was relatively insignificant. So, impact of green revolution was mainly in those states, especially Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. Remaining states do not have such kind of impact. So we can say that is uneven spread. The impact of green revolution was limited in few states. Third one is limited farming population. Limited farming population. The bulk of the farming population in India consists of small and marginal farmers. As I already discussed earlier, that most of the farmers of India has small land holdings or marginal land holdings. The gain of green revolution have excluded these farmers because HYV technology requires expensive inputs which are beyond the reach of marginal farmers, because those inputs which are required in modern technique, which these are very expensive and it is very difficult for a small and marginal farmer to purchase those inputs. Next one is but we can say that rich farming population, though their number is very low, happens to own the bulk of farming area, which is why the result of green revolution are found to be impressive in terms of overall rise in output. We can say that the impact of green revolution on those farmers which have large land holdings, they are able to enhance their crop productivity because they can afford the inputs which are required for modern technique of farming. Next is economic divides. Economic divide. As I earlier said, that most of the farmers of India are small landholders or marginal landholders. Yeah, small farmers or marginal farmers. They are not able to get the benefit of green revolution. On the other side, the farmers which have larger land holdings, they are getting the benefit of green revolution, and that leads to economic divide, because after green revolution it was seen that the gap between rich and poor farmer has substantially risen over time. Poverty is widespread and indebtedness is extremely high. After green revolution, small farmer and marginal farmer remain poor and indebtedness is extremely high. The farmers are still lending loans and they are not able to pay the loans, so they were stuck in the vicious circle of poverty and indebtedness. that result to the suicide among the farmers, and this is a serious challenge in Indian agriculture. You have must seen that many farmers took this extreme step of suicide, and because of indebtedness and poverty. Briefly, we can say that achievement of agrarian reforms in terms of green revolution are praiseworthy, but that result is due to green revolution, the gap between rich and poor farming has been increasing. So this is a serious problem in the Indian agriculture. Also, a big push of investment needs to be given to Indian agriculture to raise productivity level at par with the advanced nature. It is also necessary to enhance our productivity, as I discussed that what is the productivity of China and UK, and if we compare with these countries, the farm productivity is comparatively very low. So there is a urgent needs of investment, so the productivity will increase like the developed country. So these are the limitation or drawback or negative effect of green revolution. Again, I am revising these points. First one is limited crops, means the impact of green revolution felt only on limited crop, which are wheat and rice. Uneven spread, again the impact of green revolution felt in certain state, few states were left. These the impact of positive impact of green revolution on Punjab, Haryana, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, whereas Bihar, Orissa, Western UP were left. Third one is limited farming population. The impact of green revolution seen only on those farmers which have larger land holdings. Small and marginal farmers remain excluded. Next is economic divide, because of small and marginal farmers remain excluded from the green revolution, and their impact and felt only on farmers which have large land holdings. That leads to generate a gap between rich and poor farmers. These are the negative impact of green revolution. In my next class, I will discuss, does India need another green revolution? And student, you should also think and analyze that, does India need another green revolution? And if there is a need of another green revolution, that I will discuss in my another class. Thank you.